In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I was able to make over 400 pips in a single day trading just one pair, and that is gold, SAUSD. SAUUSD. On Friday, there was NFP released, and so many traders were waiting for the release of the NFP. But before that, towards Wednesday, there was a very strong news that came out which pushed the price of gold up. So on that Wednesday, I made so many pips on that Wednesday, and on Thursday the market was in a consolidation because of the US public holiday. So on Wednesday there was a strong trend, an uptrend, while on Thursday the market was quiet. The gold market was consolidating because of the public holiday in the United States of America, because Americans were celebrating their Independence Day on that day. So everyone were eyeing the NFP news, which comes out every first Friday of the month. And this Friday NFP news was so massive that so many people were contemplating whether if the price will go up or if the price will come down. Because before the release of the NFP news, the price was already at a daily resistance level before the news was released, and so many people were thinking whether if they should buy or if they should sell. So in my own trading strategy, I don't care about the news, I don't care about anything. I just follow the trend. I just trade in the direction of the trend. Some people can call me a wide trader. I don't care, because I've gotten so many experience. Honestly speaking, I've gotten so many experience. That is why I prefer to trade in the direction of the trend. And what strategy do I use to trade in the direction of the trend? And that is the moving average. I use the moving average as my guide alongside with price action. And that is why I always make use of this strategy from day one. So whenever there's a crossover, that is when I am expected to take a trade. And I always look at the price. If the price is above the moving average, I will only take a buy trade. But if the price is below the moving average, I only take a sell trade. And I always make sure that my stop loss is tight, because I'm using lower time frame, and that is the 15-minute time frame. I make sure my stop loss is always 20 pips. Even if I get hit 3, 4 or 5 times, it won't bother me, because I know just one movement can recover all the losses. That is why I stick to this strategy. Some traders might say, okay, let me focus on just support and resistance level, and when the level is broken, instead of them to accept their losses, they will shift their stop loss with the hope the market will reverse. But to their greatest surprise, especially on gold, market hardly reverse, because gold is always going up and coming down. And that is why I use this strategy on gold. So on Friday, when the NFP news was about to be released, the gold market was still consolidating before the release of the news. And like I always warn you guys, I said don't ever place a pending order before the release of the news, especially NFP and CPI. The reason is because the market makers will always want to take you out before the action movement starts. They call it liquidity sweep. So they want to sweep you out before the movement starts. So don't be a victim of that. That is what I normally advise you guys, but most of you do not take it seriously, right? Some of you would prefer placing pending buy or sell order before the release of the NFP. Sometimes it will work for you, because sometimes if you're able to do your technical analysis, you'll be able to know if buyers are in charge or if sellers are in charge. And sometimes the market will not go against it, will just go in your direction. It depends. But to be in a safer side, you have to wait after the release of the NFP news before you place a trade. Don't rush and place trade. If I did that, I would have lost so much. But because I have the mindset of working with my rules. I always obey that. So whenever the NFP news is about to release, don't rush to place trade. Wait. What you need is the data, the NFP data, to know where the market is going. So these are the things you should be looking at, because before the news is being released, because once it is time for the news to be released, if you go to Forex Factory calendar, you see pending, right? You will see pending, right? The actual data has not been released, it's just pending. But if you go to the chart, the market has already moved 200 pips. You understand what I'm talking about? So now you are just trading based on psychology if you are trading at that moment, because nobody knows the direction of the movement. It's just noise until the data is released before you can know the actual movement of the market. That is why before the news is being released, price goes up, comes down before the movement starts. So if you place a buy trade and place a stop loss, price can go down, take your stop loss out before the movement starts. And if you place a sell trade and then put stop loss, price can go up, take your stop loss out before the damn move starts. So why not exercise patience, wait after like at least 5 minutes after the release, 5 minutes after the release, for you to see the actual movement. Because after 5 minutes, I believe by that time the data must have been released, right? You now see the raw data. So what you will be doing is you wait for a pullback. If the market is in a strong move, you can go down to the 1 minute time frame, because there's still support and resistance at the 1 minute time frame, or you can still use the moving average at the 1 minute time frame. So if the market is in a strong parabolic move, the market will still receive support in the 1 minute time frame, so you don't feel you are left out. So what you will do is you exercise patience. After the release, you have seen the data, you know where the market is going, then you can now scale down to the lower time frame to look for support. So if the market now makes a pullback at the lower time frame, you can take your trade depending on the direction the market is going. If the market is going up, right, you wait for a pullback through the lower time frame, and then you join the trend. With that, you're not going to lose anything. So this is exactly what happened on Friday during the NFP news. So many traders were swiped out. So many traders were wiped out because they didn't listen. They were placing pending order because they felt the market is going to respect them all the time, right? But for me, this is what I did. I waited for a crossover before I took my trade. So once the crossover happened, I waited for a pullback before I took my trade. So let me show you the price chart and then show you what truly happened on the NFP news released. So let me just show you for you to understand what I'm talking about. So this is the price chart. This is the price chart. You can clearly see that this is gold, right? And we are on TradingView platform, right? So this is when the news was released. You can clearly see I'm using the 15-minute time frame, right? So this is when the news was released. You can see the spike when the NFP news was released. You can see the spike before the up move began. You can see the spike. So this was when the NFP news was released, right? So now ask yourself a question now. Buyers and sellers, is anyone safe in this scenario? No one is safe unless your stop loss is too large. Even if your stop loss is too large, it's even more riskier, right? So you see that when the data was released, the price went down. The price went down, took all the buyers, and then went up, took all the sellers before the movement started. So let's assume that maybe, let's say this is the last candlestick before the release, right? Because okay, let's go to the 1 minute time frame so that you will understand what I'm talking about. Let's just go to the 1 minute time frame. Okay, let's scale back to Friday NFP news. Wow. Let's go to Friday NFP news. Okay, so this is it. Let me just zoom. Let me zoom it for you to understand what I'm talking about. All right, so now this is the 1 minute time frame, right? This is the 1 minute time frame. So this was when the news was released. You can see the candlestick that triggered the release, right? So before the release, you can clearly see that the market was consolidating. The market was just that was why I see all this small candle. The market was consolidating, right? And I do warn you guys that if you are trading NFP news, don't you place pending orders. It's very risky because the market can be crazy sometimes, especially this NFP news, right? So now imagine that, because this is the last 1 minute before the release, right? This is the last 1 minute candle before the release. So this is the release, right? So now imagine that you placed, let's say, a buy trade here. You place a buy trade here. Let me use this arrow. You placed a buy trade here, right? Because you have done your technical analysis and you say the market is going up, right? And then you place a pending buy order here, right? A pending buy order here at this point. That's where you place a pending buy order before the release, and then you now say, okay, let me use stop loss, 50 pips stop loss. You say, okay, let me use 100 pips, because you have the mindset that the price cannot reach, especially gold. If you are trading gold, you say, okay, let me use 100 pips. So 100 pips should be 56, sorry. You say, okay, let me use 100 pips stop loss, and then you place your stop loss here with the mindset that through your technical analysis you have understood that the market is going up and there is no way the price can get to this point, right? And then you put your stop loss here, and then your take profit might be 200 or 300 pips depending, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Now what happened? Immediately the news was released, the price went down, took you out, smashed your stop loss, right? Rally all the way to this point, and then what happened? The price now got rejected, then came up, right? Got rejected again before the movement started. So now for buyers, they have been taken out here. Now for sellers, a seller will say, okay, the market is going down, let me place a pending order here. Okay, let's use the same thing. A seller will say, okay, let me put a pending sell order here, right? A pending sell order here, and then let me put stop loss here. Let's say stop loss will be, let's say 90 pips, something like this, right? I know this is 1 minute time frame. The market is so fast, this is gold and the market is moving fast, right? This is just 1 minute time frame, and then it's okay, let me place my stop loss 90 pips. Let's use 90 pips for instance, 90 pips as your stop loss, and then you place your entry here when the candle was forming, right? Now the only thing that can save you is if you have a fixed take profit, and if your take profit is nothing below 150 pips. If your take profit is nothing below 130 pips, right? That one is what will help you. So now the news came out, the price went down, right? So now if you had a fixed take profit, it will help you, because in this scenario I'll call it luck. The price, and this is 1 minute time frame mode, everything is happening fast. This is 60 seconds, this is 1 minute time frame, and so you may not have that psychology to know what is going on, because the market has done down within second. The market has gone 100 pips within second, right? So the only thing that will save you is if you have a take profit, a fixed take profit being placed, so that immediately the price just drop, it will hit your take profit before it reverse up. But some traders do not place take profit, right? They don't normally place a fixed take profit. Instead, they will wait for the price to go down and then manually close the trade. So if you're waiting for price to go down for you to manually close the trade, you'll be disappointed, because the price will just go down in 1 minute time frame and then get rejected. And what happened? The price now hit your stop loss before the actual uptrend begins. So at this moment, both the buyers and the sellers have been taken out before the trend begins. So if you now zoom out the chart, you can see that after both buyers and sellers were taken out, the direction of the movement now begins. So if you were patient enough to wait for at least 5 minutes after the release, you would have been able to know the direction, because at this point the data has been released. You now know the market is going up, so you now wait and take your trade at the support level. That is the previous resistance turn support, and this is it. So this is the previous resistance, this is the previous resistance, which has now turned to support. So once the market goes up, comes down, goes up, you now know this is clearly an area of value where you're supposed to place your trade. So you simply place your buy trade here, then you can target 20 pips as your stop loss or 30 pips as your stop loss, and then you can now target 200 or 300 pips as your take profit, right? You can target 200 or 300 pips as a take profit. Let me go to higher time frame. Let me go to 15-minute time frame back. So you can now target, you can clearly see what happened. This is where it happened. So you see at the lower time frame, you have been able to enter. So this is where we entered at the previous high, which is this. This is where we entered at the previous high. So this is where I entered the trade at the previous high, and then my stop loss was somewhere here, just 20 pips or 30 pips. You can clearly see. So this is where I entered my trade, and then my take profit was 400 pips. Targeted 400 pips as my take profit, right? So I targeted 300 pips as my take profit, right? So formally I targeted 400 pips as my take profit, but the market did not reach the 400 pips before it closed. So I manually closed my trade. So before the market closed for that Friday, I manually closed my trade somewhere here before the market closed. So you can clearly see with this setup, I was able to make an insane amount of money during the NFP news, and I wasn't caught up with this liquidity swipe or liquidity sweep by market makers. So if you learn how to wait 5 minutes after the release of the NFP news for you to place your trade, you'll be able to escape this kind of incident. So this is how I was able to make over 400 pips on Friday.